Hey guys, Kevpert here. Today we're going to do subscriber analysis for Mixtape on Fire. I'll just call him Mixtape for this video. Now, Mixtape's a rising star, and I really like doing these analyses since a lot of players can relate to the skill level and follow advice that's a little more tailored to them. Now, Mixtape's a good player. He's got the beginnings of a bounce dribble game, but typically a rising star, your positioning is going to be pretty good, so you're going to get a lot of goals off 50-50s. But your game is a little slower and you're going to have a tough time creating your own attacking chances. So I'm going to challenge him to improve his attacking efficiency so that he can break through this rising star plateau. So hopefully Mixtape and you guys will learn what to do to improve your play. Let's get started. So first things first, you'll notice here that he loses the kickoff. We'll go into fly cam immediately. And you can see it just gets pinched into Mixtape's corner. So if you haven't seen Johnnyboi kickoff tutorial, I'll give you kind of the short and sweet version of it. So at this point, get this lined up. You can kind of see the trajectory. You see the trajectory is going this way. Box rush is coming and taking more of an inside route. So the optimal outcome here, or what's going to happen, is it gets pinched out that way. And what you can do on these diagonal kickoffs, if you take more of an inside route and the opponent takes a diagonal, then that's when you can pinch it into the opponent's corner. So I'm going to challenge him here to go from more of an inside route and experiment with that and really learn how to do that. So let's go back into his perspective here. Okay. Whoops. Alright, so after the kickoff, he's going to grab this ball. He's going to control it. Maybe you could have used rear cam to figure out where the opponent is. Not that big a deal. And he kind of throws that away. In those situations, you really just want to get behind the ball and create the next 50-50. You can do that if you just kind of do a push roll, boost behind the ball, and just push this. And those are really good, especially if the opponent is facing away. So here he does a nice diagonal flip backwards, goes for the boost. And here he makes that, I would say, the first positioning error of the game. And he does this a couple times. And he gets lucky because box rush loses the dribble. So what he can do in these sort of situations, instead of turning infield and giving box rush the ability to take it this way or take it this way, you're giving basically two options for the dribble. What you can do is once you get that boost, you just want to power slide onto the wall. So once he gets this here, you want to be in a position where you get that boost, park in this sort of area, and then you're facing this way. And by doing that, you make the play very predictable. If you're facing this way, then the only area that opponent will dribble into is this way. So it becomes very much easier to defend. If the player gets on top of the car, you can start backing off. So here you see him give the inside and the outside, and box rush leaves it. You get poor shot selection there. This is the classic cue of when you need to start a bounce dribble. So since box rush is left, he has a limited ability to hit this unless he reverses and backflips. So this gives you an opportunity to bounce the ball towards the net. Maybe even get two bounces. You can use a fake jump to get that extra bounce and get this ball as close to the net as possible for you beaming into the goal. He does that way too early. He gives box rush an out by just doing a little backflip. And here this is just a little awkward. So what you can do there is at this point, this is how you create attacking offensive pressure in ones. You go for these boosts. So you got to be able to just kind of push and flip this ball. You got this boost. Box rush is low on boost. So you can really create some offensive pressure. If you can grab those boosts, power slide around the ball, and get another bounce dribble started. So I'll kind of demonstrate what that looks like. So if Mixtape's able to push the ball this way, you can easily get around it and start a bounce dribble. If you can even push it this way if he wants to and get around it and get that bounce dribble. As long as box rush is low on boost, you have all the cards there. Instead, he kind of just keeps in this corner. This is awkward. He eventually gets a demo here, so it's as if he got a pass back in his own half, which kind of works out. But definitely some areas where he can create some pressure there. Okay, so he's gone for a quick aerial there. This is definitely not the right decision. He needs to bounce dribble this a lot closer, so he needs to get a couple bounces. Boxers is so far back. I mean, you just demoed him. So going for a quick aerial, even if it's the most powerful shot from this distance, is never going to go in. It's just easy to save. Even if you have power shot, opponent has a lot of time to read it. So here he goes for the boost denial. I like that. He goes for that one as well. I like that. And now he's able to turn, able to get the shot. And here, this is something that he can immediately improve. You see he's using boost there while he's already supersonic. I'm not sure if he knows this. I didn't know this until I was about 800 hours in. But once you go supersonic, you don't need to flip. You don't need to use boost. You can just hold gas and you'll still go supersonic as long as you're going straight. So you see here he uses about 40 boost. On top of that, he can, at this point, once he has this speed built up, he can use one flip to get supersonic and conserve on some boost. Okay, he gets that 100 boost, but he uses about 40 there. And although that doesn't cause any issues here, it might in the future. So boost management is very important. Getting to top speed a lot quicker with flips is very important as well. So here you're going to see that he's going to lose the bounce dribble, right? The ball's not really bouncing. He has two opportunities to get this ball bouncing, and I'll talk about that. The first is once this ball goes into the corner, since Boxers is definitely going to go for the mid boost, you can already see that he's going that way. You can just punch this ball into the corner off the curve and then get this ball bouncing and then work with the bounce dribble from that. Instead, you see he's kind of parked. Okay, this is not the most terrible bounce here, but since it's low bounce, you need to really work hard to get this. So you get on this side, you hit this side of the ball, and then after that, you can get around that side and hit that side of the ball. So you're going to have to do two quick bounces in succession. He ends up doing it after the ball's killed, and so that caused some issues. He's able to get a shot, but it would have been a lot more effective if he was able to do that earlier. And here he makes a mistake. He leaves the ball and goes for the boost. If you're going to do that, which is, I think, the right decision, if you're going to do that, you need to take the ball with you so that you can push this ball up the wall, grab the boost, and then get around it and then start your next play. Instead, he just leaves it, gives the Boxers an easy out, and then the ball's going towards his half. And here he can be a lot more efficient. This is where I'm going to challenge him to learn Powerslide boost turns, which I think are the most important skill ones once you get to the higher levels. This is easily an opportunity where you could just get around the ball, do a Powerslide boost turn, chip this ball up, get another bounce dribble, and start moving towards the opponent's net. Instead, you see he's not comfortable with that, so he pushes it sideways. And for an opponent that isn't all the way back and reversing, that would result in loss of pressure. But even here, I would say this is not the optimal outcome. What you want to do is you just want to get underneath this ball, and you just want to catch this. So working with the high bounce is going to be really difficult to control for a power shot on net. So what you want to do is you want to just get underneath this ball and you want to catch it. So you can bounce it on top of the car, reverse, get a bounce dribble started going like that. Or you can just carry this ball as close to the goal as possible with a flick dribble. So you see there he kind of goes for that. Unless he's comfortable going for a rebound aerial there. I'm not. Then I wouldn't go for a power shot like that. So here he gets demoed, and really nice goal from Boxers. Not much you can do there. But definitely on the previous plays, some areas of improvement. Alright, so here he goes for a fast kickoff, and that kind of leads me into discussion about fast kickoffs. They're really not all that scalable. They're not going to work against better opponents. They might work in the challenger levels, low challenger levels, when other players don't have efficient kickoffs. This is definitely easily defendable. I don't think I ever use a fast kickoff anymore. My opponents don't as well. Everyone has a modified version of the fast kickoff that mitigates fast kickoffs. So since it's not scalable, I wouldn't even recommend using it. And so you see the outcome here. It goes right into his corner. That's an issue. Mixtape can definitely, at this point, once this goes into the corner, turn, diagonal flip with boost, supersonic, and one flip. Instead, you see he's kind of just driving on the ground. And he gets there, but really he could already be in the net thinking about his next move. So At this point, if he lets his ball just bounce off the wall, he can start carrying this ball out this way and away from Boxerus. That's if he has some composure. He catches his ball, that's fine. It's not the best outcome, but now he's in a position where he can just push this ball out and get a push dribble and get this next hit as a 50-50 instead of just throwing this ball away. So I'll let this play through. You'll see the issues it causes. Gives a clean hit to Boxerus. Now he's going to have to flip back, get in position, and he realizes Boxerus is not really behind that ball, and so he's able to step. So that's a nice step. Classic ones goal in the lower ranks, you capitalizing an opponent's mistakes. So today I'm going to really challenge him to be more efficient in creating his own chances. That's with bounce dribbles and offensive pressure. So you see here, much better kickoff. He gets fully behind this ball. He's able to power through. He hits this. This is perfect. In this situation, since the opponent isn't even there, I think you can power slide this way, get around the ball, chip the ball up, and then go for a goal. I think he has the time to do that. You see, there's plenty of time to at least chip the ball up, and he ends up going for like some sort of weird jump / boost. Anyway, so he goes for boost, which is fine. As soon as the ball pops up, you're kind of worried about the power shot, so he backs off. And now he's made that same mistake again where he's given the back, this area to dribble in and this area to dribble in. So this is fine right here as long as he stops moving and he starts funneling Boxerus towards his net so that he can make a predictable save. Instead, he lets him go back. Okay, Boxerus really takes his time there. I think with a better opponent, he would have pushed it down the wall, and you would have been in a worse position. So he gets the goal there from a good quick read, but definitely some better positioning that Mixtape can do alongside the walls. So here, really good play. Nothing to talk about there. It's just great play. He goes up early. Opponent has low boost. Make sure you get the aerial before opponent has the opportunity to save. So here he uses rear cam, which I like. This is something I talked about in like my very first subscriber analysis. So right here, but he needs to use it again once he gets closer because we really don't know what that information was telling us. It looked like Boxerus is going for the corner boost, and he gets surprised here because Boxerus kind of just appears there, right? And that could have been a goal off the pinch. So what he needs to do here is he just needs to look again. And then he needs to figure out, does he have time to get around this way and get this ball? Or does he have to get this boost and then back off and let Boxerus play a low boost game? So he's working on subpar information here. Not able to be effective. And he just whiffs that. But I would say like the real first big mistake was just not using rear cam again and getting some better information so that you can craft your own strategy. So here, nice side flip, and he hits a classic ones goal. This is great because he doesn't let the ball get up the wall. He gets around it, and then he chips up the right side of the ball, gets this bouncing on the edge of the box, the perfect area, and he's able to power this home. So I really like seeing that. That's more of a goal of his own doing. So here you see a fast kickoff that works. Again, not very scalable. I wouldn't recommend it. And here, he should be disappointed that he didn't score. I know he's disappointed. But what he can do here is if he's worried about the bump, you can jump a little early and get on that right side of the ball and then do a side flip for the goal. Just let off Boxerus there. And here again, this is where I'm going to challenge him to be a little faster on the recovery. Boost. At this point, do a diagonal flip, get you supersonic. You can boost if you're not confident in getting supersonic while you're flipping. But he's used about 35 boosts there just to get supersonic so that he could break in front of Boxerus. Could do that a lot faster. Okay, good that he snipes the boost. And now he's in a good position. Right here, he's in a position where if Boxerus gets this on top of his car, he can back up and backflip at it. That's good. Alternatively, he makes this play very predictable because he's forcing Boxerus only one way so that he can make a very predictable save. So you see that here, he does this really well. And this is what I was talking about earlier that he needs to do more of. Alright, so just the wrong shot selection there. You should be staying on the wall a little longer and doing a side flip. Just so you can get that angle towards net. Goes for a front flip. He's not able to create his own angle. Gets demoed. But this ball comes to him. That's a really good hit. He needs to rush this and get as close as possible. He can't be breaking here. You see here, this is just painful. And I know he's disappointed, but this is having confidence in your own ability. And at Rising Star, you definitely have the ability to score this. So once you hit this, you need to start rushing, getting closer, get as close as possible, and just get on that left side of the ball so that you can kind of just power this home. And this is in his locker. This is just having the confidence to execute. Looks like he was worried about the bump there. He goes for the double jump. Bit messy. Gives away a free goal. So that's a much better kickoff. He gets fully behind the ball before flipping. All right, he goes for this boost. I think he can be a little more aggressive here. And this is where I'm going to challenge him to start thinking about boost denial. Here, since he's had a better landing and he has some more momentum, he can use the boost he has and do diagonal flip to get supersonic, grab this boost, get around the ball, and then start a bounce dribble from there. I guarantee you Boxer is going to go for this boost, so that'll give you some space to work with. Instead, he ends up going here. He doesn't even flip here, so he's taking his time. He ends up getting this one. So since he's gotten both boosts, he now is in an fantastic position where he can get around this ball, come around like that, and just get a bounce dribble started. Instead, he takes us up the wall. This is an easy out. You see Boxer is very happy to go back to mid boost and grab boost. That's complete waste of that boost denial. This is a little awkward here. But I like this play here. He just power slides on the wall, creates an angle for a bounce dribble. It doesn't work out. Here he needs to be very quick getting back, and he never flips, so that's an issue. So if you ever watch the best players, they'll always flip around the map. You know, you watch Pashy, Markey, Scrub Killer. They'll just use a diagonal flip here. They're going to diagonally flip this way. They'll conserve boost. They can start thinking about what they're going to do on the next play. Okay, so, and what that allows you to do is when you have more boost and when you get to top speed a little quicker, it gives you a little extra time to make better decisions. You see there, he kind of rushed it and hit that side wall instead of hitting the corner wall. So that'll give him some more options. Here, this is just messy play. I would say he looks like he tries to use rear cam. I don't know. It doesn't really work when you're reversing. So what he can do there is once his ball pops up and he does that first backflip, work with what you see, right? When you have low boost, you really can't afford to take that many risks. This is perfect. Off the bounce, you can hit this ball towards the corner. You can grab this boost and then start thinking about the next play. So he's kind of surprised it's not there. This should be goal if Boxerus had shot a little earlier. So nice step there. Then he goes back. That just forces Boxerus to hit that sideways. So that's a really nice play. And here, again, I think he can be more efficient in creating some attacking opportunities. So all he has to do here is just go up the wall. You don't actually have to hit it. You just have to fake that you're hitting it. Go down the wall and then catch this ball. By doing that, you basically get Boxerus to back off. If Boxerus, for some reason, does decide to come at you, then you can just hit it over them. You can just tap it over and then get the next hit. So by kind of just parking here, you're inviting Boxerus to rush, hit this into your corner. And now he has to make a difficult pinch hit there. And he eventually gets the goal off Boxer's poor play in the corner. But I think he can be a little more efficient creating his own chances where he doesn't have to capitalize on opponent errors. So here, very diagonal kickoff. Looks like the opponent does the same, so it's a very neutral outcome. But again, I think you can take more of that insider out. That's a really nice control and bounce dribble. Since that ball is rolling towards him and the opponent's facing away, he can just chip this up. He has the time to grab this boost, and this is a much better bounce dribble. I think, just splitting hairs here, I think he can actually get on the other side of the ball. You see Boxerus is lined up. And what you can do in these sort of situations is, let's see if I can show this correctly. So players, when they line up on the side of the goal, they're basically going to gamble here. So they're going to move this way. They're going to gamble that's going to go there. So they are a very limited ability to save any shots that come in this area. So that's exactly the range you want to shoot for, just to throw off your opponent. And we see that here. All he has to do is he has to get around this ball, hit this side of the ball, and shoot for that left top corner. So that's very predictable, especially from that range. It's much better in execution, but yeah, and that's not good. That's with 5 seconds left. You need to show a little more game management, some more awareness. I mean, here you see that he doesn't have the power slide in his locker, so he's not able to hit this. You need a power slide if you're going to hit this. But the bigger issue is that he's going for this with 6 seconds left. He can easily back off and get the win by just defending that honestly. But 2 seconds left. Goal that was entirely preventable. Not the best awareness, but really just focusing on what he can improve here in terms of creating his own chances. So I'm not too bothered. Here you see a fast kickoff that works. Is not really going to work against better opponents. So well, that's all I'm going to say about that. Here he can be a lot more efficient and a lot faster. So you can grab this boost. He can grab the other boost and kind of side flip at this boost. He ends up doing that. So at this position, it's very obvious that Boxer is going to hit this way. You saw him, you heard him flip 3 times, so he has no boost to get back. He's making a desperate hit. All you have to do is start moving this way and then get around the ball. And so it's going to require 2 power slide turns, but definitely you can get around the ball and then start chipping this towards the net, get a quick shot. That's end the game right there. Instead, he tips this across, and then he goes for the shot. Okay, unlucky doesn't go in, and then he gets dunked here. And so definitely I think he could have scored here. And here, I think he can score too. You see Boxer's backwards. He's going to make an all or nothing play. Let him make the mistake. What you want to do is you want to hit this side of the ball, hit it towards the wall, and then you can get around it and start thinking about your next play. Right. Instead, he lets himself get dunked. Nice play from Boxerus. And he backs off. And so he should just have the composure to get a bounce dribble started here, which he does. And then his mistake, his big mistake, is that he lets this ball die. And the bounces become too small to work with. So that's a decent bounce. It's not that high. You need to work really hard to get around this ball and then chip it up again. And so since he's let this die, can't get a powerful shot. Boxer was able to push this. All right, with a better power slide, you could probably get around that ball, hit that towards the corner. And then he's just thrown this ball away a little too early. And I think all the cues were telling us the Boxer was not going to step. Right, you see him back off right there. And he's already made his decision to shoot. And so I think you can just get another bounce dribble started. You can be a lot more methodical and strategic with your decision making. And he actually gives the game up like that. He makes one big error here at the end that I want to talk about, and it just highlights that he needs to work on his power slide boost turns to get to the next level. So here, if he does a really efficient power slide boost turn, he can get around the ball because he's got some distance between the ball and the player. So all he needs to do is just use that power slide boost turn. You see that he starts doing the power slide once he's behind the ball, and that's not optimal. That's actually pretty slow, and he'll do a power slide. There he's actually reversing and power sliding, so even more inefficient, and he gets surprised because Boxer's able to step to that, and Boxer's gets the goal. So definitely some things he can work on. So that's going to be the end of this replay, and so I'll just run some auto cam while I talk about my notes. But so there's, I think, 3 main areas that he can improve. The first is his speed of play and boost management. And if he's able to diagonally flip around the map, he can get the supersonic a little bit faster, and that'll get him some more time to make decisions, as well as conserving on boost. It's important to find that optimal speed where you boost flip, and you can go supersonic on flip. Now, since he has a bounce dribbling game, Mixtape's got to be a little more patient and have the composure to take that ball down the field. Since the opponent continually backed off this game, take that ball as close to the goal as possible before you beam a shot into the goal. You can create a little extra space by just throwing a little fake jump to freeze the keeper, get him to back off a little more. Lastly, Mixtape should work on his power slides to speed up his game, create more opportunities to chip up the ball for a quick arrow and other bounce trick. I think we saw maybe 6 or 7 examples of that, so definitely can be a little more efficient there. Now that's gonna wrap up this replay. Hopefully you guys learned something. I'm gonna challenge him to bust through his plateau. I think there's definitely a lot of things that he can work on immediately to improve his game. So hopefully everyone else watching learn something as well that can improve their one's game. As always, just leave some comments and I'll make sure to respond. Have a good one.